Welcome, welcome. At the beginning of this year, we used that word fear, and I said that during the year I was going to try really hard to reduce our fears. I think one of the fears we have is silk, and regarding silk. I put up some beautiful silks this morning, a collection from Ralph Lauren. They're just beautiful. And I think silk is one of the more expensive fabrics to where if we really understand it and learn to kind of master it, then we'll save a lot of money in our sewing. So let's get started. I'm going to cover 4 areas of silks where if we replace education education will replace fear. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Education will replace fear. So let's go over those. The first thing I'm going to talk about is washing. So many of us think you can't wash silks. They're just really tender. It's just not true. Silks are very strong and I can wash them, and I'm going to go through the process and show you. I don't think I've ever come across a silk that I did not wash or didn't feel like I could wash. But let me tell you just a few little simple rules. So I'm going to show you this first photo. Now this, before I show you that, this is my silk cardigan. It's a silk knit, and here are my 2 swatches that I started with. So what I did, I'm going to show you a progress of pictures, what I did. If we look at the first one, there shows my 2 swatches. Then I took one of them and washed it on cold water. And what I'm looking for when I'm washing silk is a color loss. So you notice I'm comparing it back. You see there's no color loss at all. It's exactly the same as it was. Then I dried the same one that I washed. I put it in the dryer on a low temp, not on high, on the low temp. So we have to wash silks in cold water and a low temp to dry, or just lay them out. Either way is fine. But I put mine in the dryer on a low temp, and then I compared it back, and you can see there was no change through the washing process. In fact, I even ironed it. There was no change at all through that process. So what that tells me is I'm completely comfortable with taking my cardigan, throwing it in the washing machine, throwing it in the dryer. I don't have to pre-wash my fabric if I don't want to. I can if I don't want to, but I don't have to. I know exactly how that silk is going to respond in the washer and in the dryer, and I know that my garment's going to be exactly like it is now once I've washed it. So anytime, it doesn't matter what your silk is, you can do that. You can't do that with a ready-made blouse, but you can certainly do that with any silk you have. Start with your 2 swatches, identical, compare to loss of color, compare loss of size. That's what I'm looking for. And then if that process, something goes askew in that process, then I can alter the process to know exactly. Maybe I can wash it, but I can't dry it. Some of the things that I have, when I have a silk that has a little bit of luster to it, people have said, well, when I dry it, it lost its luster. Only because the fibers, when you dried them, went straight up. Because of the air and the tumbling, they go straight up. If I take that same piece of silk and I go over and press it after I've dried it, that sheen will come right back because I've laid the fibers back down, I've pressed them all nice and flat, and the sheen comes back. The sheen doesn't go away. The sheen is part of the fiber, it's part of the weave, it's part of the way it's woven into the fabric. So sheen doesn't go away in the dryer, it's just that the fibers hide the sheen, and once I press it, that sheen will come back. Okay, so that should make us comfortable that silks aren't going to cost us a lot of money additionally because I have to dry clean. That's just not the case. When I buy a blouse that is silk and it says dry clean only, they put that on there to protect themselves against the crazy ways that we as consumers wash. Hot water, hot dryer. Silks can't do that. Okay, so the next fear we're going to talk about is cutting. Number 1, I would recommend a really beautiful, nice pair of scissors. You kind of owe it to yourself if you're going to sew and dress well, and gosh, it's just so much nicer to have a nice, wonderful pair. And I'm even going to say Kai's. They are titanium. They're just wonderful. I can't say enough of good about them. And everyone I've ever sold a pair of Kai scissors to, because we do sell them, they've said, oh my gosh, yes, oh my gosh. So have a pair of nice scissors. But the other thing I need to learn to do is what's called cross-cutting. And I'm going to look at this photo. It's a very bad photo. drawing, I should say. But you're going to cut one way, let the fabric relax, and then cut the opposite direction. So you're going to cross at the corner. That reassures that the fabric went back down, laid flat, and that you could cut it easily. You could use a rotary cutter if you're familiar, or feel comfortable with that, but you can get a nice sharp cut with scissors. People always say, well, the fabric's so slippery. Well, if you've got flat table, you put it on the table and just weigh it down. It can't go anywhere. It's not going to run off by itself. So just put it on the table. If you have a small section, just put a small section at a time, and then just don't let it hang over the end of the table because it will pull off. Put everything up on the table in a wad, cut the little section you have, and then move on down the road. There's been many times I've cut fabric on the floor because the space is big and it's flat, and that works. Just get a flat surface, weigh it down. Fabric's not going to run away by itself. All right, the third area now we're going to talk about is sewing. I'm going to look at this silk sheer jacket that I made a little while ago. And when I did it, and whenever you're dealing with something sheer, and not with a silk that's not sheer, because I didn't have any problem on the one I'm doing, we often go right and default to French seams, which is a double seam, once sewn to the outside, then sewn to the inseam. I'm not a believer in that. I just don't think it's necessary. I'm going to show you this next photo, and this is a close-up of this jacket through the sheer parts, through the part that is completely sheer, and you can see that from the outside you can't tell whether a seam is serged or French seamed. You can't tell. You can from the inseam, but all you see is a block, and you can see by this photo you just can't tell. If you want to do French seams on your whole entire garment, that's your call, but don't feel like sheer silks need French seams, because that's just not the case. I serge them on my serger all the time. People never see them. I've seen them in the store, serged on a serger. You cannot tell by the outside how they're sewn. Again, if you want to, but I don't want you to think, oh gosh, I've bought this silk, I've got it, this sheer, and I've got to do French seams with it. That just creates so much extra work in your brain. All right, and then the other thing I want to do, I want to talk about hemming them and finishing them, because I think that's a concern that we have. And so I'm going to do this little, Natasha, who we've had on Fit to Stitch several times, is just an excellent seamstress. And her tips are priceless, like jaw-dropping. So I'm going to show you this little excerpt because she says it well, she shows it well, she teaches it well, and everyone should know about this so that you can really finish those seams a little bit just professionally. They look beautiful. Keep in mind that she's shortening a dress. She's hemming a dress. So what that means is, because you're cutting it out, whenever the hem is, or the bottom of the garment is going to be, leave an extra inch so that you can then do this like what she's suggesting. If you cut it exactly where you need it to be, you won't have the space you need. So whatever the bottom of the garment is, give it some extra, and then you can go ahead and hem it like she is showing you how to shorten. It would be the same thing. All right, so let's watch this excerpt. So on a rolled hem like this, I see this taking like a zillion thousand hours. Show me an easy way to do this.
It's very easy. When you know exactly, it's so easy.
Okay,
yeah, let's
see.
Let's see. I have like little samples right here.
Okay.
Like you see, it's been rolling hem originally. Like let's say we need to shorten this dress like 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Like all around.
And
usually it's not even.
Do you think? Oh,
usually it's not even.
That's because the dress probably doesn't fit right through the body. So
and you need when you pin floor, you need to do this. Wedding dresses is not all around. Some girls, of course, they want to keep tail in the back. Usually it's like side to side shorten.
Side seam to side seam.
Yeah.
I noticed that on one dress that I took in.
And I put a lot of pins, maybe 3-4 inches between.
Okay.
Because hem itself can be crooked.
Sure.
And of course you want to have its perfect length for the wedding, right? After
you don't get a discount for it being uneven, do you?
No, it's always even.
Yeah.
Okay, and when we mark length exactly all around,
okay.
I'm check when I put this on a table. I just check, make sure it's like go straight. Just check the line, and first stitch, I always do because this is a finish line.
Right.
First stitch to make this keep this hem original with rolling hem. you can do just maybe quarter longer from the pin.
So longer than the actual,
longer than
yeah, it's actually going to be.
For the first stitch right here.
Okay.
Let's see it.
And now your stitch would be
and
right
stitch
on
with the pins. Yeah,
the
see,
pins.
And I just, you see how I move my fabric?
Okay.
And I holding.
And now you haven't
and
cut,
remove pins.
You haven't cut anything off.
I didn't cut anything. This first stitch, yeah. When I do first stitch on the hem, because if you cut, it just go like this.
Oh, that's a really good tip.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how many times I've cut and it's gone like that?
Yes. Some people they cut and they try to roll it.
Yes.
And stitch with just only one
Oh,
stitch, and
that's worth
it's
$1
never
million.
worked. Even with my big experience, it's impossible. Just don't try it.
So you're stitching right on the line.
Yeah,
you want
just right on the line, quarter lower.
Okay.
The first stitch. Okay, let's see.
I love this.
Yeah, I see you got first line right here.
Does it matter how long your stitch length is?
It's usually it's like 2.5, 3.
Okay.
It's the best because you don't want to make it too narrow stitches because it start pulling.
Right.
Just better 3 is the best.
Okay. And now you're going to cut it.
And now I'm gonna cut it.
And you've got those little scissors going right
little
along
scissors
the
because it's much easier to cut and just check, make sure you didn't cut.
I cannot believe how
top
easy
layer
you make
because
this.
it's
If you cut that layer, you don't get paid, do you?
just practice before you're doing this. Yeah, like you see, it's the first stitch.
Oh my goodness.
And then we turn this one and stitch one more time right here.
That actually looks fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not hard.
No. When you know it's not hard at all.
I am just stunned because there's so many times where I've done this.
Yeah.
And I've tried to do exactly what you said not to do.
Yeah. Because it's nothing pulling, nothing. You don't need to think.
Plus you have, and you can actually see that there's an extra stitch in there. You can see that.
You can see it from inside,
From inside, right.
extra stitch, but usually it's nobody's worried about this.
And also
Because
you're dealing with such a small amount that it doesn't matter that it's going larger to smaller.
And you can turn like narrow, or you can do almost quarter.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I have scissors.
Ah, let's see.
Yeah, and you have got rolling hem
my
right here
gosh.
with no
You
pain.
are amazing.
Because manufacturers, they have professional machines which they can do with one stitch only.
Sure.
When you do it at home, it's much easier to do one stitch without
Then
cutting.
cut.
Then cut and turn second time.
Okay, this is awesome.
And that's it.
I would spend an hour on this,
Yeah.
but since I know you've got so many other secrets, we're going to move on.
I can tell you from personal experience that I've done this and it's incredibly simple. For so many years I kept thinking, how did they do that? How did they do that? They don't do that. They do it like she showed you. So it's wonderfully simple, and I'm hoping that just trying that will really help you eliminate that fear of how you finish. I do want to show you another way of finishing. This is a silk scarf that I bought in Italy. Now this is a $400 scarf. It's a designer scarf. It's a beautiful scarf. But I want to show you that the edge of this, and I took a picture of it so you can see, and look at this picture and you can see how the edge is hand stitched. It's beautiful. It's $400. I can always finish the bottom hand stitched. This is how it's done in the store. So, I mean, I know you can do this because all it's done is rolled twice and then hand done, and I can sit there and just do it very casually and very easily. It doesn't have to be done by machine to look professional. This is professional. So if needs be, go for the handwork, and it doesn't take that long, and it's just the bottom. So let's wrap up those 4 points. We've got washing, we've got cutting, making sure we have sharp scissors, sewing. We can do it on a serger, we can do it on a regular machine, it doesn't make a difference. And then we've got finishing, and there's 2 ways of finishing those hems. The goal is to really love silk, and not just to love it, but to feel confident that we can handle it, that we can make whatever we want. The actual sewing of it isn't any harder. Just line it up and go. You're gonna love it.
And for me, who's loving my silk cardigan, I want you to enjoy silk. It's too precious and beautiful of a fabric for us as sewers to avoid. The goal is happy silk sewing from Silhouette Patterns.